And Bell, NBC News was also doing that real-time fact-checking throughout the State of the Union address. There were some times that the data was questionable. For instance, he talked about jobs numbers being the highest. Well, those are looking at stats from when he was elected versus when he took office, things like that. Another claim that he made was that he believes that if he was not elected president of the United States, that the United States would be in the middle of war with North Korea. That is certainly questionable at best. So certainly a lot of things that raised some eyebrows as he was talking about immigration among the claims tonight.
We now know that Trump has given a date for this second summit with Kim Jong-un, North Korea's leader. What happens next? What are the kind of next steps to make this actually happen?
So later this month, we found out he is going to be holding that second summit. Now, this comes on the heels, though, of what we saw really last week, which was an extraordinary moment on Capitol Hill, where his intelligence chiefs really kind of contradicted what President Trump has been saying publicly. Now, the president has said all along that North Korea is in the process of denuclearizing, but intelligence chiefs say that is not necessarily the case. So we would suspect that, we're going to hear certainly from the White House as to what measurable steps they're going to be looking toward to see if there has been some progress on that front and what exactly we're going to expect to come from this second summit. What sort of progress?
What do you make of the performance of both? I mean, we had Donald Trump first and then the Democrat rebuttal from Stacey Abrams. It's obviously that for the Democrats, it's often seen as a bit of a difficult spot to be put in. What do you make of her performance versus Donald Trump's?
Well, I think that it's certainly no surprise, no accident, rather, that Democrats put her up. This is the first African-American woman to give a State of the Union rebuttal. She's somebody who rose to prominence during the midterms, the hotly contested race for Georgia's governor last November. So she's somebody that Democrats are considering a rising star in the party, and quite frankly, somebody that they believe could galvanize the Democratic Party ahead of the 2020 elections. Not necessarily to say that she's running, but a voice that a lot of people are going to be listening to. So that's why they put her up. She really talked about, President Trump's shortcomings. She put the shutdown blame on the president. She pushed back on his need for a border wall, saying that the country is stronger with immigrants, not a wall. Now, as for President Trump, his theme tonight was choose greatness, and he made several calls for both parties to come together to unify. And we saw standing ovations at some periods in there from both parties, but there were also times in there, Bell, where we heard audible groans from Democrats. And a lot of that had to do with the issue that's really been dividing Washington now for the better part of 2 months, and that's the president's push for a border wall.